Alright, what is up, y'all? Today we are here with week 3 of the APL, the Alolan Prebank League. It's actually week 4, but we had a bye week, so it's week 3, whatever, that's what I'm going to put, I don't care. But we go against Lomas, and he has a pretty interesting team consisting of Tapu, Fini, Nihilego, Zydoge, little 10% pupper, Chandelure, Roserade, regular Scizor, Mega Audino, Vanillux, Absol, and Aerodactyl. So, luckily for us, we do have a Kartana, and that will help deal with the cancerous thing that is Mega Audino. But other than that, his threats are Tapu Fini can potentially get up hazards. We don't like hazards on our team, as you can see, so we're going to need to prevent those. And he actually has 2 solid Stealth Rock setters, and Tapu and Nihilego and Aerodactyl, so we'll have to figure out ways to, kind of deal with that. Offensive Roserade could be a bit of a problem, but maybe not. We'll see. So we whipped up a pretty wacky team. Not wacky. It gets the job done. It's a pretty efficient team, I guess would be the proper phrasing. But we have Spadef Blastoise, just max Spadef. This is to help deal with the Nihilego. It does get Thunderbolt, so we need to be able to take those, and then, Scald 2-hit KOs it, even though it's specially defensive AF. And if it's Sash or something and we knock it down to the Sash, then we can get a Rapid Spin kill, and then just pretty much just sacrifice this guy to make sure that rocks don't end up on our team. Also, with its coverage, it does hit everything on his team pretty decently. So, we don't have HP Fire, but we can Scald Burn the Scizor. Regular Scizor is not near as much of a threat as like Mega Scizor is. So luckily for us, he doesn't have that. But we will need to keep Kartana in the back, definitely, to deal with Mega Audino. But this thing is just to help deal with some of his special attackers and to not die to Roserade or anything like that. And it's also a decent switch into Chandelure. So Energy Ball is not a 2-hit KO. If he's like Scarf, if he's Specs, I think it's a roll. But he also can't trick us because we're Mega, so it makes it a pretty darn good switch, if I do say so myself. Then we have probably my favorite mon on the team. This thing is going to be wacky. So he has multiple hazard setters, and then he has as his only defogger Tapu Fini. I believe Aerodactyl gets defog as well, but that's not a reliable one really. So Tapu Fini is his defogger. Basically, we live Moonblast, and we can taunt it, and Stealth Rock up, roar it out, all that good stuff, and we are also holding the red card. So in an ideal situation, he would attack us rather than defogging. We would taunt, or we would get up our own rocks. He gets switched out, have another thing take rocks, and then we could roar or whatever, and it just shuffle his team around, because his team is very weak to rocks and spikes. So hopefully we can just roar everything right out. Just don't get comfortable, just see yourself out, just bye-bye, see you in a couple turns, whatever, get the fuck out. Hopefully. And then we have, I think this is our second time bringing Scarf fucking Arcanine, but it actually puts in a lot of work versus his team. If late game, if we get rocks and spikes, this thing can just lock itself into Flare Blitz and kill just about everything. Like, look how weak he is to this. Now I know Nihilego resists, but that thing has like 7 defense, so that's dying. Tapu Fini doesn't want to take a wild charge, especially after all the rocks and spikes and pressure that's being put on it to defog and whatnot. It's going to have a hard time. Also, we have a Kartana in the back, so every time, he clicks defog, he has to think twice about, did I just invite in this fucking Kartana to come Leaf Blade my entire dick off? Or his clam, rather. Her clam, yeah. But this guy has all the potential to do good versus him. We have Bulldoze on it just in case he's like a. Why do we have Bulldoze on this actually? It's been I told you guys it's been a minute, but I guess it's probably just another move we stuck in there. Oh, I guess it is ×4 effective against Nihilego, so that's cool. And then Crunch to help deal with Chandelure just in case that gets out of hand or if that's Scarf or something. But yeah. This is definitely the win con. We keep this thing in the back. Don't let it take any fucking damage until, the last couple turns, and then just hopefully click buttons with it. Then we got Frostlass, who is just kind of a standard good old fashioned Focus Sash. Probably not going to be a lead, because he just has so many things that beat us as a lead, but we're kind of a mid-game spiker, probably. We do have the taunt to prevent, you know, any kind of shenanigans going on. We gotta get our own spikes. If we are in versus a Aerodactyl and our sash is intact, we can Icy Wind as he takes us down to the sash. Then we will outspeed, and we can kill that thing, or we can get up spikes, or Destiny Bond, or whatever we want to do. So that'll be fun. Then we have Sylveon, and I really like this Sylveon set because with this investment, we are able to live a, I believe it's a +1 Z Iron Tail from Zygarde, the little Zypup, and we can just destroy it with a Hyper Voice. Like, holy shit, Sylveon does not give a fuck about the nerf in Sun and Moon to the 8 abilities. It just destroys him. And then he has no switch-ins for this. You know, we have Psyshock for Nihilego as well as Roserade. We have Hyper Voice for everything else basically, and HP Fire for Scizor. So this thing is gonna punch some holes in his walls. It's gonna be awesome. And yeah, just Wish, just in there too. It's always helpful to have a Wish user whenever you have Mega Blastoise, because you just get yourself healed right back up. And, you know, he doesn't have any reliable recovery. Kind of same with Crocodile. It is a kind of a bulky Pokemon, so unless you want to run like Rest Talk, you need some Wish support, so that's nice. Then, last but not least, we have the Steelium Z Kartana, because I believe even at max attack, I don't think Smart Strike killed fully physically defensive Mega Audino. If I remember correctly, it did not do that. So we're running Steelium Z just to make sure that we kill that thing, and it also just helps. Whenever we click that, it just kills something. Like, there's nothing wants to take that. Even I think it's resisted versus Chandelure, and I bet that shit drops too. Like, golly gee willikers. So that's gonna be the team. Hopefully it works out, and we will just jump right into the battle. Why not? Alright, here we are with the battle, and as you can see, he brought the Aerodactyl, the Roserade, the Zypupper, the Tapu Fini, the Nihilego, as well as the Chandelure. So looking at his team, I think it's safe to say he's leading either Aerodactyl or Nihilego. Also looking at his team, either Roserade or Chandelure is most likely to be Scarfed, just to kind of deal with our Kartana with HP Fire and, you know, just Fire Stab in general. So looking at it, Frostlass was not the lead, so we just go ahead and lead with Blastoise. And he does lead Aerodactyl. We pretty much just get to Scald something. He can go Tapu Fini if he wants, but oh well. Just gotta prevent them rocks. We do get him down to his sash, but he doesn't get a burn, which kind of sucks, but we just go for the Rapid Spin just to make sure he didn't get those last minute rocks up or something. If he had Roost, that would have been pretty funny. And you can see the bulk of Mega Blastoise because Nihilego hits it with a motherfucking Gigavolt Havoc and it does not die. So again, we prevent rocks and we're able to get our Slushy in, but kind of fuck up a little bit and go for spikes rather than like Icy Wind, because then he's able to get up his rocks. So Arcanine is going to be hindered, but at least the sash is still intact on this guy. So we just stay in here. We just want more hazards basically. We need to put as much prior damage on that Fini as possible, and he actually gets the Cursed Body and has to lock himself into Choice Scarf Struggle, which is hilarious. So we get basically a free turn to set up, kind of, but we just want to go get our rocks up, and he does switch out into his Fini. So we get up our rocks, and I think it's time to click Taunt, and he goes for the sub, which is perfect because we have Roar. So he goes for the sub, and he's taunted, so he can't defog. He goes for Surf, worst of a def, it doesn't kill, and then takes all that damage, gets roared, comes in and takes all that damage. It is fucking ridiculous right now. Roar that guy out too, I don't care. So now the Scarf Chandelure is down, and he's forced to go into Zydoge, and if he's banded, he can lock himself into something here. He can't really Dragon Dance because we've been roaring the shit out of everything. So we're definitely clicking Roar. His best play is just going for 1,000 arrows probably, but he does just go right for the extreme speed. Just pick us off. I don't know. Maybe he didn't have 1,000 arrows, right? Because people definitely don't run 1,000 arrows. But the Babiri Berry comes in clutch here and lets us live that Iron Tail comfortably. And Zydoge goes down. Now here's a pretty cool play. So looking at our team, he's pretty free to either Sludge Bomb here, predicting the Arcanine to come out or HP Fire predicting the Kartana to come out, because there's no way we're staying in. So, we stay in, and he doubles out to the Tapu Fini as we go for Psyshock. Because we're max special attack, it's doing some damage. And, man. So he just Moonblasts, doesn't get the special attack drop, thankfully, and we can just kill that with Hyper Voice. Rocks and Spikes are here to stay. This guy's taking a shitload of damage. Now he's like, okay, well, they're not switching out. So we just switch out and go hard into our Wind Condition, which never do. Don't ever go hard Wind Condition, because he did go for the Leaf Storm there. And we just Flare Blitz and pick that thing off, and Nihilego comes out and dies to Rocks and Spikes and all that good shit. So it's a 3-0 in our favor, with, you know, Arcanine doing the cleanup, but honestly, the Rocks and the Spikes were the MVP of this game. Like, for real. They did so much damage to everything. It just goes to show, you know, like, even if your opponent has arguably the best defogger in the Draft League format, it still can be taken care of, you know? And even though, I know that's a questionable statement saying Tapu Fini being the best defogger, but because it doesn't have reliable recovery or anything, but it's just so bulky, man, and it hits hard offensively too, kind of, with Calm Mind and whatnot. It can be speedy, it can taunt, it's just fucked up, man, it's fucked up. But, yeah, like I said, it just goes to show, even if they have a good defogger, doesn't mean Rocks and Spikes aren't the way to go still. Puts a lot of pressure on the opposing people's teams, and it throws off the calcs hard. So, you know, whenever you're building a team or something, you're like, oh, what does this do after, like, one rock, or after a rock and a spike? But when you got a full field of hazards, obviously, minus, like, one spike, then you're taking a lot of damage every time you come in, and people aren't usually prepared for that. So I'm going to shut the fuck up about how much I love hazards, and I'll see you guys next time. Like, subscribe, do all that bullshit, and I'll see you later. Bye forever.